Okay guys, here I am, Angkor Wat, one of the most famous temples in the world right here. It is overflowing with tourists today, and I'm excited to walk through it. This is just one of about a dozen huge temple complexes in the area. This is the most famous, but anyway, I'm gonna show you around. Okay, I'm walking across this kind of man-made bridge to Angkor Wat, and it is like walking on a trampoline. It's just floating on the water, and you've got hundreds of people on it, and so it's like tough to keep your balance. It's kind of crazy. All right, here I am, just like any good tourist site. There's a ton of other people, but kind of a cool spot. It's big, beautiful gardens. There we go. By the way, kids, stop making fun of me because I'm sweating. It's 96 degrees outside right now, 55% relative humidity. My phone, I just checked it, it says it feels like it's 108 degrees, and so give me a break. I'm sweating a little, huh? These are some pretty steep steps. Walking up. Okay guys, I'm now at the very top, taking a look at that top spire there, and hot, but man, it's kind of cool to see. It is so hot, I can literally feel myself almost getting sick. So I found this kind of side corridor, and there's a little bit of a breeze blowing through here, and man, it feels good for just a minute. I've got to go and find me another water. Tip number 2, visit early in the morning or maybe late in the afternoon and evening. These temples have a real mystical quality to them, kind of an Indiana Jones-esque, Tomb Raider-ish quality to them. They're really kind of neat to see, and as you're in the early morning or late evening, you know, you get kind of more of the misty, you get kind of more of the presence, and it's a mistake I made because I saw most of them in the middle of the day, but as the evening and afternoons worn on, I've appreciated it more. Not only that, you avoid the heat of the sun. So visit early in the morning, late in the evening if you can. Okay, tip number 3, visit more than just Angkor Wat. That's kind of the core temple complex, but quite honestly, after seeing a number of these over the last day or two, I don't even think it's on my top 2 or 3 favorite list. This one behind me, Bangor, is maybe 10 kilometers away. My taxi driver drove me here, and wow, I was impressed with it. There's 2 or 3 other temples that maybe are in some ways more impressive. Bayan Temple, which is like the second most famous temple, and I really like it. I actually think it's way cooler than Angkor Wat. You got all these faces up here, and kind of in a neat spot too. A lot more forest in this area. Confucius say, wherever there is a beautiful place in the world, there are Chinese tourists close behind. This place was beautiful, loaded with Chinese tour groups waiting behind them, but still, cool spot to visit. Those trees kind of growing up through everything. I guess it was featured in the movie Tomb Raider a few years ago, so I'll have to go check that out again. Okay, tip 4, bring cash. And when I say cash, I mean good old-fashioned American dollars. That is the default currency here in Cambodia. They do have their own currency, but US dollars are accepted everywhere you go, from the restaurants to pretty much any sort of vendor you see on the side of the street. And so bring cash. You're gonna get hot. For $1 you can buy you any sort of drink, and usually the meals here are pretty cheap. You know, $3 or $4 should get you a lunch of some sort. You're gonna want US dollars, so bring them with you when you're in Cambodia and when specifically you're touring the Angkor Wat temple complexes. You say you do 25, okay?
For all?
Yeah.
Sorry, please, try small money from you for all. Okay, for all, sorry.
I don't know. He's got some beautiful things here. But 25. 25. Good deal for you.
Okay, 28 last price, yeah.
28?
Yep, happy.
Okay, 28 it is. And how old?
10 years old.
10 years old. You speak English. Show me your cards. Show me your cards. All these beautiful postcards.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Very good. And you sell all for $1?
Yes.
Okay, tip number 5, last tip. Hire a driver. This is Mr. Hai. He's my driver, and he's been with me the whole day. I spent like $35, and he's been helping me, driving me. I have a cold, air-conditioned car that he comes and picks me up anywhere I go, and so I highly recommend it. We started out at Angkor Wat, and we saw Bayon. We saw this Takeo, this Tao Prom. And we came over here, and we saw Baekong, and we may see a couple of more up here before we end at the floating market tonight. And it looks like I'm gonna pass on the rocket launching. I'm sure it's fun, but and a few of these, like this waterfall, it's actually like an hour or 2 away. I'm not gonna get a chance to go today, but you know, really you need to spend 2 or 3 days here if you want to capture the entire fill. And unfortunately I don't have that time and luxury this time around, but gives you an idea. You know, one thought, kind of related, is I remember the first time I was in Thailand 20 years ago, I saw a model of the Angkor Wat, and I thought, wow, where is that? I want to see it. And I was kind of told by those I was with that, oh, you know, that's in Cambodia. People don't go there much. And back 20 years ago, Angkor Wat was not a very popular place among tourists. Remember that Cambodia had the Khmer Rouge that ruled back in the 70s, and really, it was really the 90s when tourism even really started here. And so the country's not quite as developed. It's not like Thailand where every road is paved. And Cambodia is a little bit behind that, but what it lacks, it makes up for in charm. And these temples and ruins that you see here are really something else. And I say it's well worth it to hire a driver to help you around, to help navigate, to give you some tips and advice, and mostly just to have an air-conditioned car as opposed to a tuk-tuk that goes slower and you don't have any of that air conditioning. So anyway, that's my final tip for visiting Angkor Wat, and good luck to you.